Welcome back to another episode of What's for Dinner. So tonight we're gonna make some beef tips, and I've been wanting beef tips since my coworker was talking about them on like Friday last week, and they just sounded so good. So what I have here is just some stew meat, and then I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna cut it up. Probably just take the size that they are, and then just cut them in half, and then or like this one, I might cut into thirds. I don't know. I'm going to play around with it. But I'll let you know what we season it with. And granted, y'all can season with whatever you want. This is just what I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut this up. And then I will... wow, that came in when that went. I'll see you after I'm done cutting them. Okay, so all of our stuff is cut up. Now we're going to season. This is probably like, I don't know, probably a little bit more than a quarter cup of flour, and we're going to season our flour mixture. So right now I'm going to use the blend. What I just used was the smallest amount of onion powder I think I've ever used in my life, and garlic powder, and I'm going to grab some more onion powder to put in it. And here's a trick I learned a while ago. If you take the smallest, like a little bit, come on, there we go, of baking powder, it's going to really help kind of crisp up like fried chicken or anything like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this flour mixture and we're actually going to put it over our beef tips because we're going to make a gravy with it. So it'll help. I think it helps. So yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, now we're going to take our mixture. Stop. Take your mixture, mix it up, add in whatever you think you might need. Now we're going to switcho changeo. I'm going to take a paper towel and just kind of dab these dry, my beef tips dry. I think it helps make the flour mixture or like your seasonings just stick a little bit better to them. So do that. Okay, now we're going to sprinkle in some of our mixture, and the goal is to get it all covered. If you end up not using all of your flour mixture, you can save it for when you're going to make your roux for your gravy. Mixy. Forgot to say that for all of y'all in the comments that just love when I say it. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure I'm hitting, like scraping up from the bottom too. Okay. That's what we're kind of looking like. I have a small corded Dutch oven, and I'm going to turn it on to a medium. And then I'm going to take some olive oil when it's hot, and I'm going to put in the center here, and then we'll fry all that stuff up. And until then, I'll show you how to make the sauce or the gravy that we're going to make. Okay, got 4 cups of water. This is hot water from the tap. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Should use boiling water, but alas, here we are. So we're gonna use this guy, and this is gonna help us make like the gravy. You really should be using beef broth, but I don't have any. And then take some Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm just going to do it till it changes color. I like the taste of Worcestershire sauce. I know some people don't, but I don't get that. So now you're just going to sit here and mix until your till your bouillon that you use, that bouillon paste, is all mixed in it. And then as soon as our pan is heated up, I'll show you what we're going to do. Added a little bit of vegetable oil in here just so that I know when it's ready, or I'll know when it's ready. So yeah, now we're just going to play the waiting game. Okay, so our oil is hot. We're going to just take our beef, and we're just going to like put it in the bottom of the pan, but we're not going to overcrowd the pan. That's where I get myself in trouble a lot, because I'll overcrowd the pan and then none of it's cooked right, so we're just gonna brown it on all sides. We're not cooking it through because what we're gonna do is we're gonna let it simmer for about an hour on the stove. So our goal is just to brown all the sides. And we're just gonna use a wooden spoon and brown it up. So yeah, as soon as these are all done and browned on one side, then I'm gonna take more and put it in. So yeah, we'll see it when they're all browned. Also, I'd like to point out, because we put flour in the bottom or on our meat, it will stick to the bottom of the pan, but it's fine because what we're gonna do is when we pour in our liquid, we're gonna use our spoon and we're gonna scrape it all off, so all that flavor is gonna come into the broth. So we're making a roux, y'all. We're doing a roux. I think this is called a reverse roux. No, it's not. This is not a reverse roux. But anyways, we're making a roux, but we're gonna cook our meat first. All right, all of our meat is now cooked. So we're gonna take a little bit more olive oil, and now we're gonna make a roux. So we have that little bit of leftover flour. So we're gonna do that. Colton's trying to dance, but he's not even in the camera frame. So we're gonna do that. I'm going to take my thing and I'm just gonna scrape all of the juice. Well, I'm gonna take the flour and mix it in with the oil that we put in there, and I'm gonna, while I'm doing it, what I'm doing is I'm scraping the bottom, getting all of that flavor from the beef up there, in there, on it, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to take some of my juice, and I'm only going to do a little bit at a time, just because I'm not trying to cook the flour, so I don't want to get chunks of flour in it. And I'm going to switch to a whisk. I prefer metal whisks. I'm going to turn this down to probably a low, medium low. And I'm just going to whisk and whisk and whisk until I feel good about it. And then, so there's a little bit more bouillon left in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some more water and get the bouillon off of there.
You guys want to know how big our kitchen is? Only one person can fit right here.
Well, it wouldn't be that way if we didn't have the table there, but there's no other, like, place to do anything in. So now we're just going to scrape off the bottom and get all of the mixture out of it. Pour that sucker in. Now I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then when it boils, I'm going to put the beef tips in, and then we're going to let them simmer for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so I didn't say this earlier, but I'm using stew meat, and stew meat is really tough. So you got to be careful with stew meat, so you have to cook it low and slow. So yeah, we're going to put our beef tips in and then put it on the eye for about, like I said, now an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we'll come back for part 2. So stay tuned for part 2 of what's for dinner.